And we all have this feeling that I came into this world. Now, it isn't true. You came out of this world, like a leaf comes out of a tree.
Most people think of themselves as minds inside bodies, moving through time and space like pieces on a board. But what if that was the illusion? What if you're not in the universe, but the universe is in you, folding and unfolding in patterns of consciousness? We've been taught to believe we are fragments, tiny beings floating in a vast, indifferent cosmos. But look closely, not with your eyes, but with your awareness. Isn't it strange how every thought you have arises from a place you didn't choose, and every breath, every heartbeat moves without permission? So who is this you navigating life? Are you the observer behind the eyes, or the field in which eyes, thoughts and stars appear? Separation was never real. It was the convenience of language, useful for maps, but useless for truth. Science, in its quiet revolution, has begun whispering the same truth sages once sang beneath stars. Quantum entanglement shows us that two particles, once connected, remain linked no matter how far they drift. Is that not the shape of love, of intuition, of the way a mother senses her child's tears before the phone even rings? The observer effect tells us that reality responds to attention. So then, are we not sculptors of the unseen? Each gaze, each intention, bending the probabilities of existence itself? This isn't mysticism dressed in lab coats. It's the meeting place where equations become poetry, where consciousness is not a bystander, but the stage, the actor, and the play. You don't need a telescope or a particle collider to witness this truth. Sit still, close your eyes, and watch. Thoughts arise like bubbles in still water. Emotions ripple and fade. Sensation flickers like sunlight through leaves. But something remains unchanged. The silent field in which it all unfolds. Depth awareness. It has no edge, no beginning, no end. It doesn't age, doesn't strive, doesn't judge. It simply is. And it's not just yours. It's what you are, beyond the noise of identity, beyond the flicker of form. There's a quiet knowing. You were never separate to begin with. This isn't something to believe. It's something to remember, not through effort, but through surrender. The shift happens when we stop trying to control reality and begin to feel it pulsing through us. You don't become connected. You realize you were never disconnected. This is the great unlearning, the falling away of old mental maps that divided soul from soil, self from other, life from the sacred. No guru, no doctrine, no ideology is needed. Only the courage to be still, to notice, to listen, to the silence beneath thought. From there, and truth doesn't arrive like a lightning bolt. It dawns softly, like the sun returning to the horizon. Your journey inward is not isolation. It's participation. Each breath of presence echoes through a web far vaster than you can see, because consciousness isn't personal, it's shared. When you soften judgment, you soften it in the field of humanity. When you choose presence over reaction, you ripple stillness into the storm of the world. This is quantum impact. Tiny shifts, non-linear, unpredictable, but powerful beyond measure. The new paradigm isn't about escaping form, it's about seeing clearly, that form itself is sacred, that the body is not a prison of the soul, but its instrument, and that your life, in all its ordinary beauty, is a doorway to the infinite. So what would shift if you lived as though the universe wasn't something you were in, but something you are? How would you listen if every voice was your own? How would you love if every heart was beating with your rhythm? This isn't about transcending the world. It's about meeting it fully, freely, with the eyes of presence and the heart of knowing. You are not a mistake of nature. You are its expression, its question, its answer. So pause, breathe, and remember, your being is not separate from the whole. It is the whole folded into form, here to awaken itself, one breath, one moment, one awareness at a time.